As Lloyd watches Claire getting taken away, Syrian comes out from the rubble. Despite being injured, he creates an ice pillar to take him to Claire. However, the moment he is about to grab Grist, his powers run out and the ice pillar shatters. Syrian begins falling to the ground, and Lloyd immediately tells Silica to use wind magic to make him land safely. As soon as Syrian lands on his feet, he gets ready to attack again, but Lloyd stops him, telling him that they can't do anything against an enemy in the sky. Syrian tells him to piss off, but then he notices that his injuries have been healed. Lloyd says that he did it, confusing Syrian because he didn't even notice him cast a spell. Yui and others also gather around and ask Lloyd what they should do next, and he tells them that he has a plan. Syrian, however, refuses to listen to him, but everyone tells him that he can't do anything in this situation, and he should trust Lloyd because he is much smarter than anyone else here. Syrian is irritated, but in the end, he agrees to cooperate with them so that they can rescue Claire. Meanwhile, Grist is really happy with how their mission turned out, and he credits the flying ship for that. He tells Michelle that he should have brought out the ship during their previous attack at Ishtar City. Michelle replies that he didn't even have the prototype ready back then, but now he has acquired a power source that can move such a giant machine. He then shows the power source to Grist and tells him that it is a fragment of the previous Demon Lord's body. Grist is shocked to hear this, and Michelle explains that the previous Demon Lord blew himself up, but he managed to find a fragment of his body that still contained his mana. He developed a device to extract that mana and use it to power this ship. Grist is not happy that he is using their respected Demon Lord as a battery, but Michelle laughs, saying that he is a scientist at heart and likes to discover new things. Just then, his ship's alarm rings and Michelle immediately goes to the control panel to see what is happening. He finds that Syrian is creating ice blocks and using them as stepping stones to jump towards them, and Lloyd's party is following in his footsteps. Syrian is really impressed that Lloyd has created anti-gravity magic, but Lloyd tells him that it is only a short-range spell and they need the footholds to reach closer to the ship. They soon reach the ship and summon their weapons from storage, but Grist also comes out to face them. He is confident that he can beat everyone just like he did the last time, but this time, Lloyd casts powerful buffs on everyone. Syrian attacks Grist first, but once again, his magic armor blocks everything. However, Lloyd sneakily casts another spell on Grist and then signals his friends to attack. Silica sends acidic fog towards him, but Grist just dispels it using magic, and then Yui and others also launch a barrage of attacks on him. However, Grist's magic armor repels them all and kicks their asses once again. He asks Syrian if he thought that he could defeat him this time, and he replies that he knew he couldn't beat him by himself. Grist says that even the entire group can't beat him, and then charges up his magic punch again. He is about to hit Syrian, but Dagas comes forward to shield him. Grist gathers magic in his fist again, but then suddenly, it freezes and shatters. He is absolutely dumbfounded by this and wonders how did he lose his arm when not a single attack reached him. Syrian tells him that it is because of frostbite from the chilly winds surrounding them, and Grist still can't get what that means. Lloyd steps forward and explains that when Syrian first attacked him, he cast a spell on Grist so that he became unable to feel pain. After that, they just had to tire him out and wait for the frostbite to take over his body. Lloyd tells Grist that his magic armor is really strong, but it can only protect him from the attacks he can see or sense otherwise. With his pain receptors blocked, he had no way of knowing how badly the cold air was hurting his body. Grist asks how the hell did he even figure it out, and Lloyd replies that during his fight with Syrian earlier, he saw his hair freezing even though he avoided all attacks. That made him realize that if he can't notice an attack, it will deal damage to him, and he made sure that everyone kept attacking him to distract him while Syrian cast his spell. Grist is pissed at this, but suddenly the pain nullification magic starts wearing off, and his arm begins hurting. He immediately runs back inside the ship and tries to free the monsters that Michelle is researching on. Michelle tells him to stop because he is not done studying the monsters completely, but Grist doesn't care because he needs someone else to fight the adventurers. Just then, Lloyd and others arrive inside the ship and spot Claire trapped in a cage. Syrian gets angry and demands the kidnappers to release Claire, and the impatient Grist breaks the locks of the monster cages. Michelle panics as his experiment subjects are let out from their cages, but they are completely out of control now, and a giant snake begins coiling around Grist. This gives Michelle an idea, and he decides to conduct an experiment to see how the monsters perform in real battle. He pulls out a magic device from underneath the floor and cranks it up. releasing a magical sound wave that brainwashes all the monsters into obeying him. In the meantime, Syrian destroys the prison Claire was being kept inside and brings her to safety. However, before they can take her and run away, Lloyd's group finds the monsters ready to attack them at Michelle's command. They draw their weapons to fight back, but Claire stands in their way, asking them not to harm the innocent creatures. She suddenly starts using her ancient magic to control the monsters, and they are freed from Michelle's brainwashing. However, her magic creates some side effects as well, and the ship starts rattling as Michelle's magic circles begin to malfunction. He wonders what is happening, and at the same time, Grist takes the support of the ship's power system to maintain his balance, only to get a powerful shock that knocks him out cold. At this point, Michelle realizes that the ancient spell Claire used resonated with the Demon King's fragment, causing it to go into overdrive mode. He realizes that it will explode if they let it be and immediately takes it out of the magic device, cooling it immediately. However, because of that, the ship starts falling down, but Lloyd uses his anti-gravity magic to stabilize it. Suddenly, Grist starts acting weird, and he orders Michelle to give the Demon Lord's fragment to him. Michelle realizes that the consciousness of the Demon Lord has hijacked Grist's brain, and it is trying to use him as a vessel. He is really excited to see how it turns out and throws the fragment towards Grist, causing him to emit powerful dark mana. The monsters are terrified of him, and soon, they get sucked into the dark mana vortex, which starts wobbling and changing shape. Then suddenly, the dark mana disperses and Grist comes out of it in the form of a chimera. Everyone is horrified to see this, but Michelle is really thrilled because everything is an experiment to him. However, Grist has completely lost his mind, and he attacks him first, ending his life on the spot, but like a true man of science, Grist is happy about his discoveries till the last breath. After that, the chimera turns its attention towards Lloyd and his group, and they are not sure if they can beat it. Meanwhile, Merlin is heading out of Ryon's castle when she suddenly finds Will in front of her with an urgent report. Back in the ship, as the monster attacks them, Lloyd buffs up Daggaz to block its attack, and Daggaz realizes that he can't block more than a couple more hits. Everyone else decides to evacuate the ship because they are still falling rapidly, but then the chimera jumps over them and blocks the exit. Syrian summons his ice sword to fight it, but Claire stops him, telling him that there are innocent creatures inside the chimera and they shouldn't hurt them. While Syrian is a simp and accepts Claire's request, Yui and Cross start blasting the chimera with their long-distance attacks. However, the chimera breathes fire and wind out of its mouths, creating a fire tornado that deflects their attacks, and Lloyd starts panicking as he wonders how to get out of this situation alive.